Hello Sumate, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we'll be learning how to make this beautiful bubu short dress with wet pocket. Now you can see that it's really not standing like the one on the thumbnail because this fabric is very soft, okay? So I will advise you use a very hard kampala, you know those kampala to come out wear with those fabric. But what I used, I think this fabric I used, this adire, is about 8,000 naira for 5 yards. So I used paper stay and the crepe. Why am I using paper stay? The crepe is very soft also, and I have to add paper stay to it to create the placket and the wet pockets, okay? But if you have a stronger fabric that you are using to create those parts, you don't need the paper stay, okay? So I went ahead to fold my fabric into 4. Now this is me showing us that it is folded into 4. So I will be starting from the center where it is unfold, okay? So the first thing I will take is my neck width, which is 2.5. Take note, I used 2.5 for the neck width in this video. I went ahead to input my shoulder measurement, which is 7.5. From there, I went ahead to mark where the bust measurement will be resting on, and I took 12.5 inches from the upper part. I went there by 12.5. You know, my normal chest line measurement is about 8 inches. But this one is cut together with sleeve, so you don't make it that small. If not, it will come out well. So I use 12.5. I use 15.5 for my waistline, and I added extra 2 inches, making it 17.5. That will serve as a guide when I'm imputing the wet pocket, okay? So I went ahead to mark the hip line, which is 24.5. Then the full length of the dress is 35 inches, okay? So I marked the 35 inches. I added extra 2 inches to it that we use to hem the lower part, like fold it, okay? So after that, I went ahead to connect the lines together. Like I said, use a stronger kampala for your own. All the shapes will come out. You see that when I held the side of the gown, you saw the shape, but the fabric, this fabric is very soft. So after that, I made sure from the shoulder measurement, I used 13 inches, 7 as the sleeve. So 13 plus 7 altogether is about 20 inches from the center front. So I just connected it and connected a straight line. So that's my sleeve line you're seeing on that part. So the next thing I will do now is to impute my circumference measurement, okay? So on the waistline, I imputed my waist measurement, which is I imputed my waist measurement. I added 1 inch for ease allowance. I added 1 inch for seam allowance. Then on the hip line, I imputed my hip measurement and I added 4 inch for ease allowance because you know it is very curvy from the waist. That's what I did on the hip line. Then the same measurement I have on the hip line, I extended it to the hem of the dress and connected the lines accordingly. So like I've said, use a stronger material that will bring out the shape, okay? But mine still came out well and I love it so much. The outcome is really very nice and I love it. But if you use a stronger material, the shape will come out like you see on the thumbnail. Now you can see the curves on my fabric. So I went ahead to impute my bust measurement on the chest line. I added 1 inch for ease allowance and I added another 1 inch for seam allowance. Now I tried connecting it this way, but me, as somebody who has a big tummy, I felt like this will be too fitted, as I really want it very free on my tummy side, okay? So I didn't go ahead to cut a cord immediately, but you can cut yours like this. It depends on your body shape, okay? So I went ahead to add extra 1 inch and I reconnected on the waistline. I added another 1 inch, so I'm having a total of 2 inches for ease allowance on the waistline. But please make yours according to your body shape, okay? I feel this will be better on me, and you can see it in the video that the waistline is not so firm, okay? So now to get the neckline, I am coming down 1 inch below the chest line, okay? You know it's 10.5 for the chest line, so I came down by 13 inches. Then I marked 1 inch. I'm not connecting from that 1 inch on the 13 inches lower straight to the 2.5 inches on the upper part, okay? Then for the back neckline, I'm using 1.5 for the depth, okay? Can you see what I'm doing? 1.5, and I'm connecting it to the 2.5 inches. So after doing this now, I will go ahead and cut. But first of all, we're cutting the back before the front, okay? So first of all, cut the back neckline before we can go ahead and cut the front neckline. So please, if you're still watching at this point and there is any part you don't understand, please, one thing I love doing in this channel is attending to people's question. If I didn't attend to your question, you should know that I didn't see it or something, please. And I'm sorry about that. But if you check my channel, you see that I reply and I answer questions a lot. If there is any parts you don't understand, drop a comment, okay? It is easier for me to respond to questions if your questions are coming immediately after I upload the video, like I see all of the questions immediately. But if you're commenting a while, for months after I uploaded the video, I can still see them, okay? But you know that I will already have other new comments coming in also from the new videos also. So please, if I've not responded to any of your comments, I'm sorry about that, but I do that a lot on this channel, okay? So we've cut for the back. Now we have to cut the front neckline. So you can see me cutting it. So the neck depth for the front is 13.5 inches in total, okay? So you take note of that. So we're done cutting. I will go ahead and spread the fabric because we have to work on the placket, on the wet pocket side, okay? So you can see what we have here like this. This is me spreading the fabric to show us what we've done. So the next thing we will be doing now is to go ahead and cut and mark the area where the wet pockets will be. So I already have the center of the fabric because you can see the gator in the middle of the fabric. That's the center of the fabric. So from the midpoint of the fabric, I came in by 3 inches. Then from the 3 inches, I just made a slant line. Now, it depends on how you want it. You can slant your own more than mine, okay? You might not even want to make your slant. You might want to make it straight. It all depends on you, okay? So you can see what I'm doing. I'm just making sure that the lines are equal. That's why you see me marking the sides. So I will just connect with my ruler to connect the slant line where the wet pocket will be resting on. So after connecting the lines like this, the next thing I will do now is to go ahead and cut on the crepe fabric, because you know we're using the crepe fabric for this wet pocket, okay? Then I'll go ahead and cut the crepe fabric for the wet pocket area and also for the neckline and the sleeve part. I will cut everything off camera, okay? So here now I've gone ahead to cut the fabric. You can see our lines for the wet pockets. Now we want to work on this part, okay? So I'm still trying to make sure that the lines, they are straight and they are equal, okay? So here is the fabric I've cut out. I'm using one for the sleeve, and I'm using, you see this longer one will be for the sleeve, one will be for the neckline. So I will keep those ones aside first. So I cut 2 for this wet pocket. Now the width of the fabric I have here is 6 inches. The length is 6 inches, so I'm using 6 by 6, okay? So the 2 of them that you see me cut, it is 6 by 6. So the next thing you have to do now is to place the crepe on the main fabric, right side facing right side. But this fabric you have, this crepe you have now that is 6 inches, what you have to do, you make sure that you're marking 2 inches. Can you see what I'm marking? 2 inches, rule a straight line on the 2 inches, which means one part of the fabric has to be bigger than the other part, because you'll be folding it. You will see it when we do it. So rule a straight line, and after ruling the straight line, make sure that the straight line is resting so well on the other straight slanted line you've made before, okay? So that's what you see me do. I'm just checking how long I want it, and I'm using 5 inches for the full length of the pocket, okay? So, and this crepe on it is 6 inches, so I'm marking half inch away on the upper part, half inch away on the lower part, to know where my stitches will end. Then You can see what I'm doing. I'm just dividing quarter of an inch on both sides. Then I will connect a straight line. If you make it bigger than quarter of an inch, like 0.25, it is the opening at the end of the day will be too much. Okay, so don't make it bigger than that. I'm even using chalk here because I want you people to see it. Using a pencil is better because even the chalk will just increase it. So I have to flip the fabric the other way around because the bigger part of this crepe that we're working with now, the bigger part of the crepe has to face the center of the dress. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing like this. Can you see it? I just used the ruler to mark a straight line to serve as a guide. Go ahead and pin it down, and I hope you understand it up onto this point. Okay, go ahead and pin it down. The same thing we did for this one, we'll be doing it for this other one. Mark 2 inches on the lower part, on the upper part also. Rule a straight line. Then on the straight line, mark 0.25 of an inch on each side of the straight line, and make sure that the line is resting on the other slant straight line you have on the main fabric. So you can see me arranging it. Take note of this part. The bigger part of this crepe fabric I'm using, the bigger part is facing the center of the dress. Okay, that's how you should do it because that's the part you will fold that will be coming up. When we get there, you will see it. So this is me marking 0.25 on each side of the straight line. Then I will use my straight ruler to connect straight line also. So after doing that, we'll be going to the next step. If you're still watching the video at this point, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, comment, share, and like. Okay, please. Thank you very much for watching my videos. For returning subscribers, I'm grateful. I won't be here without you. So I will go ahead and sew the lines on both sides. You can see what I've done. I've gone ahead to sew it. I sew on both sides. So on the middle part, just notch it, get a straight line, and trim it. When you're half inch towards the end, just make a V cut. Okay, like you're notching the both ends. Do the same thing to the other side. Can you see what I'm doing? You just notch it to the corner, notch it to this other corner. It's going to give you this V shape at the end of the day. Do the same thing to this other side. Remember, you're notching it after you must have attached the crepe to the main fabric with the lines you've created, the both lines you've created at the both ends. Okay, so you notch. After notching it, you go ahead and flip it. This is the right side we're working on. After notching it, you go ahead and flip it to the wrong side. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing. Flip it to the wrong side. After flipping it to the wrong side, go ahead to your ironing table and iron it properly. You can see what it looks like on the right side. You will go to your ironing table and iron everything down very well before you can go to the next phase. So you can see me ironing it. Please take your time and iron it very, very well. Okay, so here I am ironing it. So after ironing it, we will go ahead to the next phase. But when ironing it, remember I said the bigger part of the crepe, you will be folding it. This is what it looks like on the outside. Okay, after ironing it, you can see that the opening is about half an inch in total. So that's why I said you shouldn't make yours wider than 0.2. Okay, don't make it wider than that. If not, you not like it. It will be too big. The opening will be too much. So now I will be flipping it back to the wrong side so that we can fold it, so that the wet pocket style will come out, because as you can see, you're not seeing anything there. It's just the hole that is there. So this is what it is. Then you fold it. Can you see what I'm doing? Just fold it on top the opening. Okay, please be very careful in this point. Fold it on top the opening, but I will advise you, don't fold it completely on the opening. Leave a very tiny space, because if this thing is now covers the whole opening. It will be hard for you to put in your hand. I made that mistake here. Okay, so please don't do that. Don't fold it on the hole completely. Leave a very tiny opening. Okay, so you can see after folding it, iron it properly. Make sure you're using steam iron or use water when ironing it so that it can relax very well. So on the other side, I will do the same thing. You can see how I'm doing it. Just fold it on top, closing on the opening, the wet pocket opening, so that when you flip it to this right side now, to the other side, this fabric will now be showing there. Okay, so that's the essence of this point. Go ahead and iron it properly, and after ironing it, you will go ahead and join the side. You will go ahead and sew the side. So you can see that part we notched earlier, that sharp part, you will hold it together with the crepe and sew it. Okay, on this side you will do the same thing. Okay, so I will just go to the machine and I will sew it down. Okay, don't forget it's the sharp edge we are saying. Can you see what we've done? You can see it on the right side. Can you see how beautiful it is looking here like this? So just follow every step of the video and yours will come out as nice as this one also. So this is it on the right side. But for us to hold it down, you know, this thing we've done now is just ironing. If you did not hold it down with sewing, it can easily scatter. Okay, so I'll be flipping it back to the wrong side so that we'll see what we have to do. So on this part, just pick the crepe fabric. You see that sharp edge, pick it with it, go ahead and sew it. Okay, so after sewing it, this is what we have. You can see what I've done. I've gone ahead to sew. Can you see? I use black thread so that you can see my stitches. So I went ahead to press to top stitch. Okay, that's why you are seeing the black thread round it. I went ahead to top stitch it. Okay, but the top stitching is not really important. Just sew only the sides if you don't want to top stitch. So these are the fabric I'm using for the pocket. It is 6 inches wide. The full length is about 6 inches also. Okay, so I'll go ahead and join it. Join this first part like this. I will come back so that you understand what we're doing. Now I've joined that part like that. Can you see? So hold it again and join like this. Don't forget you are joining right side. Right side of this fabric is facing the right side of the crepe while joining. Okay, so I've joined the other side also. So the next thing now, I will pick it together like this. I'll go to the sewing machine, run a straight line down. I will do the same thing for the other side. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and join it like that. Do the same thing for the other wet pocket side. Then let's go to the next phase. So the pocket is done. This is what we have. When you put your hand, you see the pocket there. So we're done. We're totally done with the pocket area. So now let's work on the neck part. Now we're going to be using the crepe. Now we're going to be facing the crepe on the neck area. So this is the crepe fabric I have for the neck area. But what I will do first is to join the shoulders of the dress together first before we'll be able to attach the crepe fabric to it. So this is the back pattern of the fabric. You make sure the right side is facing the right side of the front facing the right side of the back. Go ahead and join the shoulders together, because without joining the shoulders you can't fix the band in the neck side. Okay, so after joining the shoulders, turning it to the right side, this is what we have at this moment. So here is my fabric. I went ahead to iron it. Here is the crepe. I went ahead to iron it. Now if I flip it open, if I open the inside, you see that I iron 1/2 inch. Now the width of this crepe fabric is 5 inches. Okay, so by the time I folded it into two and I folded those 1/2 inches inside, it gave me 2 inches. Can you see what we have? I have 1/2 inches folded inside. Why? Because I do not just want to put it and sew it round. I want the neckline area to be very neat. I went ahead to notch the lower part where we'll be fixing this band. Just notch it so that it will be easy for you to put your band, okay? So this is what we have. So what I did was I place the main fabric in between this band, okay? So I will now go ahead to the sewing machine and press it. Why am I using this method? I don't want to weave the neck area. I want the neck area to be very neat. So I felt that my notch was too small. I had to make it bigger, like ½ inch. So you place it this way. Arrange it. Please be careful when you're working on this part. Then I'll go ahead, arrange it like so, and sew it all round. So this is what we have after sewing it all around. So the lower part of this band, I will go ahead and join it, okay? So I will advise you join your own before you start. Only one part, the longer part. Now the full length of the band I use here is 36 inches. Please make yours longer than mine with about 2 or 3 inches, because from the tube nail, the thing came down a bit. But after cutting mine, I realized that it was too short and I do not want to cut another one, so I decided to use it like that. You can make yours longer than my own, okay? So after joining the lower part, make sure that this band is resting on this first part that you've made. You know, it should cover it. So you go ahead and fold the V part anyhow you want it. If you don't want to fold it V, just leave it like that. It will still come out well. At the end of the day, it's going to be your design, right? So you just fold it V and you press it down. So after pressing it down, this is what we have. You can see how neatly done it is. I will go ahead and iron it afterwards. So this is the sleeve and this is the band I have for the sleeve. The width of the band is 5 inches. Then after folding it, it is now 2.5, okay? So what I will do, you can see what we have. I also have the A stay, the paper stay on it. Go ahead, right side of the fabric facing the right side of the band, join it. After joining it, this is what we have, okay? So you flip it. This is the wrong side and this is the right side. Flip it to the right side and press it down, okay? So after pressing it down, this is what we have. I will go ahead and trim out all of the excesses. Then I will go ahead and put it together, join it side by side, and I'll fold the hem of the dress, okay? So you can see, if you're still watching at this point, please don't forget to subscribe, like and comment, give this video a thumbs up, share your thoughts with me. Whether negative feedback or positive, I like every feedback, okay? So thank you very much. There will be no Come Fashion on YouTube without you and your support. I really love all of you so much. Thank you very much. So I'll go ahead and join it side by side and I'll fold the lower part, and that's the end of the video. Bye.